about Hathor, Het Heru, this one right here, the Divine Mother, the oldest deity in African culture and mythology. Okay, so she's represented as the cow. So the reason for that is because in African cultures, or in the beginning in Africa, in the southern parts where you find the what we call the Khoisan, the Khoi people, who are actually the Khoisan people, their real name. It's not the Khoisan, but we gotten used to using that name. So the Khoi, not the San. So we have the Khoi and we have the San. So right now I'm talking about the Khoisan, who are the Khoi. They, when they were in, because that's where we find them, in the southern part of Africa, where it has been proven scientifically that life began in southern Africa. That's where you find the cradle of humankind, right? It's an actual cave where they find the earliest human remains. Okay, so that's where life began in Africa. If you also follow evolution, that's what it's gonna tell you about the beginning of life in southern Africa. So what happened now with Hathor, which is a cow, the name Hathor, we find it in Kemet, or ancient Egypt, or Het Heru, right? So Hathor is the divine feminine mother. Okay, she's the one who nurtures and gives us life. This cow right here, okay? So what happened was, the Khoisan people, when they were still in the southern part of Africa, they would settle in one place and eat whatever is around them, right? And then they were the first humans we find on earth in Africa, in the southern part of Africa. And what happened is, over time, as they were living the way that they were living, they evolved to the San people, who we call the hunter-gatherers, right? Then the hunter-gatherers, they are the people who follow their animals around. They follow their herd or their cattle. So they are following the cow around. They're hunter-gatherers. They hunt their cattle for what? For leather. That's their source for clothing, for food, right? For milk, right? And so, but who do the cattle follow? What does the cattle follow? The cattle obviously has to follow the water, right? Has to find a lush grazing land. So the animals, they follow nature, and the people, then they follow the animals, right? So what happened now was, when they were following the cattle, okay, the largest what do you call it, when the animals are migrating, migratory route for the largest one, it's found in the eastern parts of Africa, in East Africa, right? In Zambezi, in Kenya, right? That part where the Nile River is, in the eastern part of Africa, towards North Africa, towards the northern part. That's where you find the Nile. That's where the animals were going. That's where the largest migration of animals is, right? So as the animals, excuse me, Okay. All right. Excuse me. So, and then now, so the hunter gatherers now they are following their cattle, and then their cattle is following the route, which is in the eastern part of Africa, that is leading them. Excuse me. Thank you, baby. For the meow, which led them to the Nile. Please close the door. Excuse me, sorry about that. Right, so the animals now they are following the water, which led them to the Nile. And then what we know now about the Nile is that okay, so this is gonna be a short one, okay? Because now these kids are disturbing me. So now what we know about the Nile is that's where our civilization began, right? Because now the hunter-gatherers, they don't need to follow the cattle around anymore. Thank you, baby. Now they can settle in the Nile because now they have a reliable water source, which is the Nile. They don't need now to even the animals themselves. Even the animals themselves, they can settle. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Bye bye. Right, so now that's where civilization start. So what I'm trying to say here is, remember we're talking about Hathor, Het Heru. This is the reason she is the oldest deity in African culture, African mythology, African history, or whatever you want to call it. She's the oldest one for this reason that she led people to the Nile, and that's where civilization now began, right? And if you look at our history, around 4000 BC, or at the age of, let me look. So if you go back to the age of Taurus, because right now we're in the age of Aquarius, that was the age of farming, and Taurus is also represented by the bull, right? So this is what it's talking about. It's talking about this age where the cow was so significant in civilization or in life, right? The age of Taurus. Right now we're in the age of Aquarius. It's like 4 ages later, because now it's Aquarius, and then there were 3 other ones before. Then it was, or 2 other ones in the age of Taurus. So that is the significance of Hathor. She is the divine feminine mother. She's the oldest deity. Most of the African goddesses or Egyptian goddesses that you find in Egypt, they wear these horns that represent Hathor, because she is nurturer. She basically nurtured life in the in the in the in the beginning of civilization, because that's where now everything had to, we had to have law and order, we had to have a structure. So that's her nurturing and actually expanding and giving us more, because she's the mother, she gives more, she nurtures and gives us more, right? So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about here. Just a short little high issue history about her, because we this is the type of history as Africans that we need to understand and know. Because you know what's funny, every time I look into her history or Egyptian history, yes baby, it's fine baby, Di busy. Yeah, so it's important that we as Africans know, or just as human beings in general, we know the beginning. That's where I'm mostly interested in, the beginning. So when you now look into Egyptian history and they tell you that the oldest goddess is Hathor or Het Heru, you have to understand the reason for that, okay? And the reason for the cow being the oldest deity is because it basically gave us a migratory route to the Nile where civilization began, okay? So that's our history. That's African history, and that's where it began in the southern parts of Africa, then East Africa, and then North Africa, and then to the rest of the world. Because if you look at the age of Taurus, you can also you'll see that in Mesopotamia they talk about the cow. In India they talk about the cow, and other parts of the world also they talk about the cow. So you need to understand the significance of the cow in African mythology or African culture. And there's a lot actually that I can say about the cow in our culture even to this day. You know, Nguni languages, they when they speak of the woman's private parts, they refer to them as Nkomo, which means cow, because they understand and the nurturing nature of that part and its life giving because it's a source of life also. So you see there's a relation between the cow and a woman's private parts. And then also in most African cultures we pay lobola, what we call dowry. Before we had money we used cows, you know. That's how important the cow is in African culture. Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted to come up here and talk about. She's one of my favorites also because I'm a woman. I believe I'm a divine feminine, so I need this kind of information to go deeper and deeper into my femininity. So I need to understand what it's about, right? And then yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Okay, and she also embodies love, music, fertility, which I already talked about, and a cosmic harmony, right? So it means that as a feminine, these are also the things that you need to embody so that you can be more nurturing to your family, to your community, right? And then she also represents Earth's abundance, right? Remember, as a woman, as a feminine, we are we are set to give more of whatever is given to us, we multiply it. That's why we're also likened to the garden or Mother Earth, because whatever you plant on earth, the plant will give back the seeds 10 times more, 1,000 times more. So as a divine feminine you also represent abundance, right? So with Hathor, when she got to the Nile, her abundance was the water. Number one, she gave us abundance of water, which is the Nile River. And then also because of that abundance of water, now we have an abundance of people, because now civilization is starting. Now that we have more and more people, people are the population is growing exponentially. So that's abundance, right? Yeah, so that's all I have to say for now. I hope somebody finds this and it makes sense to them, and if you're enjoying it, if you like it, just press the like button. You can subscribe and comment also, and then you also can just add whatever maybe that I didn't include in this video, because this is my first time actually talking about this. But I also want to talk about Goddess Nut next, because she's the second oldest. Hathor is the oldest one, and then Nut is actually Ntu, not Nut. She's Ntu, so it's Goddess Ntu. She's the second oldest, and then we're gonna talk about her. All right, thanks so much. Bye bye.